Carrington of the Connecticut Suns is standing on business. Carrington claps back at the WNBA and all these Caitlin Clark fans saying that the WNBA missed out on the opportunity when the LA Sparks faced the Connecticut Suns at the TD Garden Center in Boston. But before we get off into today's podcast, tell a friend to tell a friend. Well, Dijonia Carrington of the Connecticut Suns, she's standing on business. Man, she is very upset, and she clapped back at the WNBA for a missed opportunity. Now, you know, guys, yesterday the Connecticut Suns faced the LA Sparks, but they played their game in Boston at the TD Garden Center, where the Boston Celtics are the current NBA champions of the National Basketball Association. So what happened is the Connecticut Suns and the LA Sparks had a game that they played in an NBA arena. And Dijonia Carrington is upset that the WNBA did not televise that game and missed out on the opportunity. Now, we all know what the narrative is, what people are going to say. They're going to say that Caitlin Clark is the only person that draws viewership for people to watch these WNBA games. But if my record holds right, Caitlin Clark is not on the LA Sparks or the Connecticut Sun. Now, you know, earlier this year, when the Indiana Fever took on the Atlanta Dream out there in the Atlanta Hawks home arena, and it was record crowds. So earlier this season, let's just put this in context, right? So earlier this season, the Atlanta Dream faced the Indiana Fever with Caitlin Clark, right? And that game was televised. And that game at the State Farm Arena sold out crowd of 17,575 fans in attendance, because it was featuring Caitlin Clark, right? So let's put that in context. Now, the LA Sparks, they're setting, I think, 11 for 12 in the WNBA with 6 victories, right? That's the LA Sparks. Now, the LA Sparks got Rakia Jackson, another, talented rookie playing for the LA Sparks. But their highly coveted rookie, and Cameron Brink, she went down early with an ACL injury. So that's into more context to this. The LA Sparks roster. Let's take a look at the LA Sparks roster. Like I said, Cameron Brink, she's out with an injury. They got Lexi Brown, which she don't dress half the games. They got Ray Burrell. Also, Lakeisha Carrington, Zia Cook, Crystal Dangerfield, Derrica Hamby, Rakia Jackson, Kia Nurse, Odyssey Sims, Azori Stevenson, and Stephanie Talbert. What names stick out to you there besides Rakia Jackson and Cameron Brink and Derrica Hamby? But she got a lot going on, got the lawsuit going on. Now, more context, the Connecticut Sun. They got Dijonia Carrington. You know, she's a feisty competitor. You know, she said some things earlier in the WNBA season that was directed toward Caitlin Clark. A lot of people thought that she was hating on Caitlin Clark, but she was just standing on business. Then also you got Alyssa Thomas. You got DeWanna Bonner, Brianna Jones, Marina Mabrey, which was traded from the Chicago Sky. Then you got Tyisha Harris, Veronica Burton, Tiffany Mitchell, Olivia Nelson-Oder, and Caitlin Bickle, right? So I'm saying this to say this, right? Everybody makes it seem that the only reason why people are watching WNBA games is because of Caitlin Clark and she's drawing massive viewership, which she is doing. But there's other teams that are getting these viewership, but people just don't cover it, because if it's not surrounding around Caitlin Clark, they don't want to mention it. And see, this exposes all the narratives out there that Caitlin Clark is the only one that is putting eyes on the WNBA. Now, you heard what Angel Reese said early in the season, that it's not just Caitlin Clark getting the viewership. She has a say in that as well. Now it comes to find out that a lot of these WNBA teams and these players have a say in it also. You know, what they say, men lie, women lie, stats don't, right? So let's take a look at what Dijonia Carrington had to say in this article that was written up by the Boston Globe. And she was adamant and pissed off. Let's take a look at it. Connecticut Suns guard viciously calls out the WNBA after the game at the TD Garden. Dijonia Carrington wasn't all smiles after a historic game. Boston, the Connecticut Sun and the Los Angeles Sparks made history Tuesday night by playing the first ever WNBA game at TD Garden. But Connecticut Suns guard Dijonia Carrington believed the WNBA dropped the ball, you know how we do over here, simply ball dropping, by not promoting a game of that magnitude enough. Carrington went to social media prior to the game to vent and then doubled down on her comments by calling out the league after leading Connecticut to a hard-fought 69-61 win over the Spark. I'm going to keep it real all the time, and I felt like Connecticut as a franchise is historically disrespected. Carrington says sometimes if you want something, you got to go out there and do it yourself. So that's what I did for us. I think that there have been a lot more publicity or promo from the top. Connecticut had announced that they were having the game probably almost a year ago, maybe, I don't know, sometimes right after last season. So there was ample time to do what was needed to be done. But it didn't matter anyway, because they showed up and it was sold out and we got the dub. So I guess my tweet worked. The home of the Boston Celtics was sold out with 19,156 fans attending the contest, which was played just over 100 miles from the Suns' home arena. The game was broadcast locally on NBC Sports Boston, but they even irked Carrington, who tallied a game-high 19 points, 8 of 17 from shooting in the win. She believed that a much bigger audience should have been able to watch the game. ESPN, which partners with the WNBA, showed a fantasy football draft on ESPN2 during the time of the game. And the game should have been on national television broadcast, Carrington said. You shouldn't have to pay for any type of subscription to see a game that is historic, in my opinion. I'm biased. Now, you heard what Dijonia Carrington had to say in that article, and she's pissed off. So basically, that game overshadowed history, and it did better numbers than when Caitlin Clark went to the Atlanta Hawks home arena and only drew 17,000 fans. Now, let's put this in context, right? In Boston last night, with a crowd of 19,125 in attendance, the courtside seats was lined up with Boston's celebrity athletes, while signs of banners outside the arena showed support for the Connecticut Sun. So you tell me that the only people watching the WNBA is watching it for Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark is on neither of these teams, and the Connecticut Sun did historic numbers. And with the rosters I just went over, who are the star players? Outside of Cameron Brink and Rakia Jackson, you got Dijonia Carrington, and also you got DeWanna Bonner and Alyssa Thomas. So there you have it. Every day in the WNBA, a narrative has been exposed. Man, shout out to the ladies. Kudos to the Connecticut Suns. Keep doing big things. We got to start giving all these ladies and these teams their flowers, because the WNBA is here and they're here to stay. And it's not just because of one person. It's a collective group. So you guys let me know what y'all think down in the comments section. Love all your comments. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you got your post notifications on so you know every time Simply Ball Dropping drops another hot banger. And remember, on your way out the door, when you put your shoes on, do me a favor. Give this video a thumbs up. Catch you on the next one. Deuces.
Thanks for listening to the Simply Ball Dropping podcast. Be sure to subscribe, like, and share on all major platforms.
That's all, folks.